Hey, I'm Chef Tony and you're watching Farmhouse Italian Cooking. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do pizza dough. Simple pizza dough you can use for making pizzas, strombolis, pepperoni bread, calzones, whatever you want to do. Garlic knots, that one too. Okay, it's a cup of water, about 105 degrees, warm it up in the microwave, no big deal. 1 tablespoon of dry active yeast, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of sauteing olive oil, not first press, the sauteing olive oil. And I have 3 cups or 440 grams of bread flour, okay? First thing that you're gonna do is you put your yeast in here, into the bowl, and you put it in the hot water, and this is what we call blooming the yeast. You get it to start up, to get going, to wake it up because it's dry. Put the sugar in, and you can use a whisk, will work the best to get them to combine. You just do it until you can see all the yeast has soaked into the water, and the sugar, because the water's warm, will melt into the water also. Once you get it to this point, you let it sit for 5 minutes and let that yeast get started up. Okay, our yeast is bloomed and it's ready for the next step. I'm going to take the salt and I'll put it in the bread flour, and I'm putting the olive oil in with our yeast. I don't put the olive oil in the beginning. I found out that it slows down the yeast from blooming. Then you take your bread flour and your salt combined, put it in here, and I'm going to mix it together. This is my first time performing this recipe without a mixer. So I wanted to do it like that, so anybody that doesn't have a mixer, because not everybody does, I can show you that you'll be able to make your own pizza dough just out of a bowl. You could do this right on the countertop, but I prefer a bowl because it's a whole lot cleaner. You do it on the counter, but you'll have flour all over the place. You'll end up doing more cleaning than cooking. And I'm more into cooking than cleaning. It starts coming together slow, because one of the things with flour is flour takes its time absorbing more moisture. So you have to give it a little bit of time to bring together. It looks dry, but it's not going to be dry for long. And I'm going to turn it out and show you what it looks like right now. Now you want to put it out on the bench or your countertop, whatever you like to call it. And we're going to knead it together. Start bringing it together. And it's just pushing it together and pushing down, pushing it out. Bring it together, push it out. It gets stuck on your hands a little bit, no big deal, okay? And you get this rolling. You bring in all the dry parts around it and keep putting them in there. And keep pushing it and keep working it. And what you're doing as you're working bread dough, because it has the most gluten next to all-purpose flour or even cake flour, is you're developing the gluten in it so it'll stretch out nice when you make pizzas, strombolis, calzones, and those garlic knots too. It'll stretch out nice and it'll get smooth. And it's just about together here. And as you can tell, it doesn't look as dry as it did from when I turned it out on the bench. So I just keep bringing it together. Put your palm, just roll it with your palm. Push in with your palm like this. Bring it back. You turn it halfway and you roll it with your palm. Halfway, roll it with your palm. So you're actually turning the dough as you're kneading it, okay? Now it's to the point that it looks like all my moisture has been absorbed by the flour, and it's at that point that I'm going to get ready to divvy it up and put it into my containers. I'm using the square containers so I get a square piece of dough when I'm done after it rises. So this part I would use a scale. 716 grams. So I'm going to knock that into 3 parts, which is around 239 grams in 3 parts. Okay, here's my containers right here. I got my square containers, a little squared olive oil. The sauteing type of olive oil, not the first press green olive oil. It'll overtake the flavor of the dough and it won't taste as good to have that in there. So I use the sauteing olive oil, which I use for just about everything in my kitchen. So I'm gonna measure them out, even 3 parts. And when you're doing it in grams, grams is very accurate. So if you're off a few points, you know, I'm looking for 239. If I end up with 245, it's not going to be a big deal. And they're all within 4 grams, which is close enough for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start kneading this into a ball, okay? I know we're going for square, but this starts in a ball. And as I'm doing it, I'm pinching it with these 2 fingers, thumb and finger, and I'm turning, okay? You turn and pinch, turn and pinch. And then take that part, just stick it down like that. And then you take it and you put it face down in the oil. And I'll do another one. I'll do all 3 of them, and you check this out. See how I'm turning my left hand and I'm pinching with my thumb and really the palm of my hand is how I'm doing it. Push down in the center and then face down into here. Here's the last one. Now, if you just made these into balls, this recipe will make you 3 personal size pizzas, or 3 pepperoni breads, which I'm going to do that video also. Or it'll make 2 medium pizzas. And if you use all the dough to make 1 pizza, it's going to be 1 big pizza. So you can do it any which way you want. So I just push it down, then I turn it back over. So the side that I was pinching with my right hand ends up on the bottom. And I just push it out. They're not going to be totally square when you push them out because I've been building the gluten inside of them by working them. So they're kind of tense right now, you know. And you flip it face up and push it down again. And it's getting close to going into the corners. Most of it is. But when it rises, it'll push right into those corners. So you don't have to worry about it not turning square. It will. Here's the last one, pushing it down, and I flip it over with the face up. Face up is the part that we had in our left hand. Face down is the part that you're pinching, okay? Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna let these babies rise in the kitchen, and it usually takes probably an hour or 2 if your kitchen isn't really hot. They double in size, they're ready to go for the next step. So I'll see you at the next step. Okay, this is the first rise of the pizza dough and square containers because I'm going to be making pepperoni bread. And after the first rise, this is what you do. You can see that you have a lot of pockets of air and everything in there. And it looks really, really lifted. It's double the size, and that's really what you want to look for. So just take the back of your hand, your fingers, and just go around it and push down nice and easy. You know, they call this a punch down, but don't punch your dough. You know, it didn't do anything to you, and you never know, it might punch back. All right, so just push it down a little bit until it is half the size of the other one. And you just move it in, just turn it as you're doing this because you're pushing it into the square. So you see how you're half down. And that's about how much you want to push down. You're just getting the air out and preparing it for a second rise. Okay, this is the final step for pizza dough. This one went overnight. and I took it out about an hour ago, let it come to room temperature. So, second rise, you can smell the yeast. It really developed overnight. To get it out, you just tip it up, hold your fingertips, and you can see all that in it, all those bubbles, all that rising, okay? That's what you're looking, that came out really nice, all right? If you're gonna make pepperoni bread, you take this part with all the oil on it and you put that down first. You put it down and then you push it out. I'll show you that in the pepperoni video. If you're gonna make pizza, you put flour down and you put it down the face down from the top down onto the bench. And then you push it out with your hands. But I'm gonna show you that in the pizza video. So subscribe, ring the bell, and when those videos come out, you'll be notified. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day.